the key reasons anyone buys a console is for the exclusives, titles that only appear on that platform. But knowing the difference between a full, timed and console exclusive can sometimes be a little confusing. So today we're going through all 26 PlayStation exclusive games coming in 2024 and beyond. Be sure to leave your top 3 in the comments below, and maybe leave a like to save my dying channel. Let's do this! Rise of the Ronin arrives on March 22nd, a PlayStation 5 exclusive single-player action RPG set in 19th century Japan when carrying a katana was a normal thing to do. We play as a mysterious Ronin whose actions will dynamically change this open world, meaning the story will play out differently for different players due to the decisions they make. An ally for one player will become an enemy for another. Rise of the Ronin began development in 2015 and contains the team that brought us Nioh and Ninja Gaiden. Gameplay will take inspiration from both those games, with well-timed attacks, ripostes and parries, yet it'll be less intense than Nioh, as not every gamer enjoys punishing Souls-like combat. And one last note, we've seen our nameless character on horseback and also utilising flying machines to get around this huge open world. I for one can't wait. Rise of the Ronin is a PS5 exclusive coming on March 22nd. Did you know 2024 is a leap year? And on that extra day comes the next Final Fantasy VII Remake episode, Rebirth. The retelling of the PS1 classic shocked gamers by changing the story. The Rebel Avalanche team have now escaped Midgar and venture into an open world so big it's on 2 PS5 discs. The gameplay retains what we saw in the remake, with real-time hack and slash and quick swapping between your teammates. A cool addition are the synergy moves. When multiple members of the squad build up their gauges enough, an extra epic attack can be triggered. A real badass moment. Rebirth will be filled with side quest activities like monster hunting, the typical RPG elements like finding resources and crafting potions, and of course this crazy compelling set of characters. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is another PlayStation exclusive, dropping on February 29th. Here's Stellar Blade. The ultra-stylish third-person combat-focused action game is set in the near future when humanity is driven away from Earth after losing a war to pesky aliens. To reclaim our home, Eve and her squad must perfect their abilities to beat the heck out of anything that stands in their way. Visually, Stellar Blade looks amazing, with both blade and pistol in hand. We've already seen more boss fights in 2 trailers than we see in entire video games, and some really impressive speed sections too. New moves will be unlocked during the campaign as your version of Eve continues to evolve based on the skills she uses the most. Stellar Blade may not have a final release date yet, but we do know it's a PS5 exclusive. Have you seen Pacific Drive? What a weird game. Basically, we have a car, I'm told this is a station wagon, and we leave the garage to collect resources and upgrade materials, then come back to apply them to the vehicle and go out again. That may seem like the most boring video game ever made, yet all 4 people I spoke to who played this say it's so unique it's a must play. Pacific Drive has us rolling through supernatural phenomenons, making each venture out onto the roads a brand new experience. Unpredictable things occur constantly. The rarer the experience, the better the loot, if you can get back to the garage and keep your car roadworthy. Pacific Drive is a first-person racing roguelike, and it's here on February 22nd. This one is a console exclusive, which means if you prefer to buy it on PC, you're free to do so. After the amazing Alan Wake 2 released last year, many gamers want another mystery horror game, and it just so happens that Silent Hill 2, the remake, is here in 2024. Set in third person, we play as James, who receives a letter from his deceased wife from the town of Silent Hill. He then goes there and soon realizes this place is cursed. Interviews have suggested the style will be similar to the recent RE remakes, yet I reckon it's more like Alan Wake, as our hero is not the most versed at fighting. Expect reality-altering psychological horror. It'll be lovely to be chased by Pyramid Head once again. There's no fixed release date right now. I'd take a guess that we should expect Silent Hill 2 around Halloween time on both PS5 and PC. This one is a timed exclusive, which means our Xbox brothers and sisters will get this game, they just have to wait a little longer than everybody else. A game arriving in 2024, which we know very little about, is Concord. Right now, it's just a CG trailer in space. What we do know is that this is a new PvP multiplayer first-person shooter from Firewalk Studios, launching on PS5 and PC in 2024, making Concord another console exclusive. No gameplay yet, so let's move on. Much sooner than that comes Granblue Fantasy Relink. The single and multiplayer RPG takes us back to the original game, with many characters returning, yet a brand new story is told here. When playing alone, AI will fill the slots in your team, but it's best played with other real players. Story-wise, the big bad gal is trying to come back to this realm and needs to restore the forbidden primal, so it's our job to take down all the primal beasts to prevent that. Granblue Fantasy Relink is a console exclusive, coming to PS4, PS5 and PC on February 1st. February also brings Helldivers 2, another console exclusive. Online, we team up with other Helldivers to go planetside in a super hostile alien world. Designed for cooperative play, so the loadouts we choose need to complement each other to survive the horde. Missions completed lead to upgraded weapons and armor and your ship too. Helldivers comes to PC and PlayStation 5 on February 8th. Here's something a little different. Foamstars, a 4-on-4 party shooter which effectively is an attempt to build a Splatoon community on PlayStation. Instead of spreading paint though, we instead use bubbles. We can then surf on those bubbles to fill the arena with even more mountains of the stuff. Combat is fully supported as the foam is weaponized in the most family-friendly way. We then use slide kicks to defeat enemies and save our foamed up teammates. I've been trying to delay this video as Foamstars information is due very soon. In fact, on January 16th. Then we should know if the game is free to play, part of a subscription, or a full-priced outing. As I'm writing this, Foamstars is an exclusive PlayStation game, although I'm hoping other platforms get this, so a real community can be built around it. We'll find out more details on January 16th. A game most of the community is eagerly awaiting is Wolverine, from the same team that brought us the sublime recent Spider-Man games. Set in third person, Wolverine would have the ability to wall climb thanks to those claws and other abilities like his incredible healing powers or his insane sense of smell. Sadly, information was stolen from the developers Insomniac, which suggests the game will be released in 2026 and not sooner, which we all thought. Also stolen were many playable sections of the game, and as those leaks were actually theft, I won't be showing them here. Just know that Wolverine is in very good hands. Gameplay is expected to be more brutal in nature, like God of War, rather than the reasonably child-friendly Spider-Man and Ratchet & Clank games. And get this, officially the world of Wolverine will be the very same one that Miles, Peter and Co inhabit on the PlayStation. The potential for crossovers is immeasurable. Will we see any official gameplay this year? I don't think so, but I'd love to be wrong. Sometime in 2024, we will see Phantom Blade Zero. We play as Soul, an elite assassin framed for a crime he didn't commit. Now hunted by a mysterious order, we have 66 days to find out the truth, fighting back against human and monster alike with your trusty blade. Supporting both stealth gameplay and all-out attack, we are promised environmental combat too, as the game is built around Chinese Kung Fu, and this carries over to the blades we use too. Each core sword has a different length and a different weight, making our hero fight differently. The more I look into Phantom Blade Zero, the more impressed I become. Coming to PS5 and PC, so this one is a console exclusive with a playable demo coming soon. Something a little different is Towers of Aghasba. I'm sure I said that wrong. An open world fantasy exploration game in which the assignment is to rebuild civilization and venturing out to find new plants and building materials. As this is based in fantasy, the unexpected flora and fauna we encounter will make for some truly unexpected moments. From dinosaurs roaming freely to whatever these things are. In one section we see a new plant introduced, and over time it grows into this beast of nature and allows us to climb up to new areas, which we couldn't reach before. Towers of Aghasba is a console exclusive on PlayStation 5 and PC. And then we have Baby Steps, the weirdest game of 2024. A coordination game in which putting one foot in front of the other is a challenge. If you've played Quop or Octodad, you get the premise here. It's the most basic gameplay of all, but it will be one of the most infuriating games of the year too. Climbing walls, mud trails, tight ropes, mountain tops, and grappling too. And one slip and you may return to the beginning. Baby Steps comes to PlayStation 5 and PC, hopefully in 2024. Fans of games like Journey and Abzu, you should keep an eye on Sword of the Sea, another console exclusive and another free-flowing Zen-like game from Giant Squid. We surf on a giant hoverboard over sand dunes and explore this stylized world, unlocking its secrets and finding meaning in this abandoned realm. Releasing on PlayStation 5 and PC. Death Stranding 2, aka DS2, is reportedly nearing the end of development. The sequel to the much loved and much hated Death Stranding saw a post-apocalyptic USA engulfed by this black goo, which linked the worlds of the living and the dead in this constant limbo. We then carried packages around, trying not to fall over while carrying a baby in a bottle. What's not to understand there? DS2 looks to include a time jump, with baby Lou a little bigger, Sam now grey-haired, and Fragile's body is no longer scarred. Death Stranding director Hideo Kojima stated additional dialogue recording and voiceovers are scheduled, and work on another unrelated game has already begun, which hopefully means a release date is imminent. As the first game initially released as a PlayStation exclusive, and as it's built on a PlayStation engine, we are expecting the same again. Have you seen Lost Soul Aside? It's yet another hack-and-slash RPG built around incredible speed and finesse, seen by many as the natural progression of Devil May Cry's combat. Our hero is Kaiser, and he's accompanied by a mythical dragon creature who can morph into the weapons we need to conquer this world. As you'd expect from a hack-and-slash game, combos are a huge part of the appeal, and now the game has massive financial backing, the boss fights keep getting bigger and bigger. Lost Soul Aside is coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. Another Chinese game in development is Project the Perceiver. Out of all the games we've looked at today, this one is the most Souls-like of them all, with perfect parries and crucially timed attacks pivotal to progression. Set in a fully open world during all-out war, you must stand up for our ideals and fight as the land falls into chaos. That's pretty much all we know. We should find out more this year. You'd be surprised how many games are in development for PS5 in China. Like Daba Land of Water Scar, another RPG inspired by Dark Souls, and more recently Neo. Exiledge, not sure how to pronounce that one, is a frantic action game combining third-person shooting with hack-and-slash melee. We have Showa American Story coming to PC and PlayStation, an Eastern take on the USA's B-movie tropes, and we literally play as a movie stunt woman who's brought back to life to save the world. China is working a lot on these hack-and-slash games right now. And one more, Convallaria, a third-person team shooter. Info on these Chinese games are quite limited, so let's put a pin in them for now, but no, there's a lot of them. Oh, here's a game which stands out from the crowd. What do you get if Zelda Breath of the Wild devs team up with Genshin Impact devs? You get Infinity Nikki, an open-world dress-up game. Nikki explores the land to find new garments, and when a full set is found, she unlocks a new ability. Kinda like if you dress as a mermaid, you could swim underwater, or you find a Space Ranger outfit, and you can venture into space. I love this idea, and suddenly their Twitter account is active again, and suggests this is the year Nikki arrives. For players who like heist games, you should keep an eye on Fairgame. Right now we only have a CGI trailer, but in interviews the studio outlines a PvP sandbox that requires mastery and creativity every time you play. We'll find out more about this one coming to PS5 and PC later in the year. I'm gonna butcher this next game name. Evotinction? It's a stealth hacking game as we try and remain as hidden as possible in this sci-fi setting. We are a one-man infiltration mission into an AI-controlled secure location. The premise is outthinking the machines to disable their security. And do you remember Little Devil Inside? The indie action-adventure title with roguelike elements set in a Victorian steampunk style. We'd play as a university professor who specialises in paranormal activity and goes on daring combat-fueled excursions. It looked great and had an amazing sense of humour too. But it vanished. Will 2024 be the year it finally returns? Of course, here back in January, there is The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered just about to release, which brings the survival action game into the current gen space, adding new content like a brutal roguelike survival mode and cut levels from the original game with developers' commentary over the top. And if you already own The Last of Us Part 2 on PS4, it's just a $10 upgrade to get the PS5 version. Good value. Whoa, we did it! 26 games covered. Thanks for staying till the end. I'm Adam, you're awesome. My voice hurts. See ya!